Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. What I got for you today is another build video. We're going to be focusing on an Arc Hunter build. And so for Hunters, there's lots of good builds out there, from Celestial Nighthawk to Gear Falcons to Blade Barrage. Lots of good builds. My hot take with this is still the definitive best build that you can use on a Hunter for survivability, for ad clear. In my opinion, it is the best, and it's definitely my go-to for any soloing activities that I do. The best part about this build is it doesn't require any specific weapon to use. The only thing it does require is either one of these two exotics, either Assassin's Cowl or Liar's Handshake, which both have their benefits. Assassin's Cowl is going to give you a little bit of health regen, but it's also going to make you invisible for 7 seconds, so that survivability is amazing. Or Liar's Handshake, so gives you a little bit more damage output for that powered melee, and also is going to give you health back as well. Not to mention that you're also getting a little bit of health back with combination blow as well. So for the build itself, we're going to be using Gathering Storm. We're going to be using combination blow, pulse grenade. We're going to be using lethal current and flow state. And then for the fragments, we're going to be using Spark of Resistance, Spark of Ions, Spark of Feedback, and Spark of Recharge. Constantly going to be surrounded by enemies, constantly going to be dodging and meleeing, so these fragments really, really work well into that build. And you can see on the screen here, it's just dodging and meleeing, more dodging, more meleeing, and that's all you really need to do. That's why weapons aren't necessarily a big deal with this build. Now for the mods, I would suggest Dynamo, Hands-On, Heavy-Handed, Innervation, and Bomber. Innervation and Bomber just for the grenade energy, just kind of a added cherry on top, if you will. And then Dynamo, when you're dodging your enemies, you're getting super energy. Hands-On, when you're getting those powered melee kills, you're getting super energy. And then I have 2 heavy-handed mods on, creating orbs, getting that super energy back even more so from picking up orbs. And then in my class item, I have powerful attraction. So every time that I'm dodging, if there are any orbs on the ground that I missed, I'm just scooping those up with that powerful attraction as well. And yeah, you just dodge, melee. With the Assassin's Cowl, you do get that 7 seconds of invisibility. So if you need to back off for a second, for whatever reason, you can do that. And survivability isn't a problem because you're invisible for literally 7 seconds. Now, if you're not having any issues with survivability and you want to increase your outgoing damage, that's where I would suggest Liar's Handshake. It also gives you health back. It works very well with this build as well. Not maybe even better, honestly. But you don't get the 7 seconds of invisibility. You do increase damage, so it's really good for boss DPS, especially when you pair it with a shotgun, like with 1-2 punch. Really, really good for that boss DPS as well. So if you're not having any issues with survivability, I would suggest Liar's Handshake. If you are having issues with survivability in this build, I would suggest Assassin's Cowl for the invisibility. And then as far as like weapons go, I really have no preference for weapon. I really, really, really don't. With my build, I am using a shotgun with 1-2 punch, Aikilos SMG, but anything really works. Any sort of arc weapon, especially maybe something like Trinity Ghoul. And then I'm using a Crux Termination for that high DPS sort of rocket launcher. And then, I mean, you can see here in the actual video and the gameplay itself, the way the build works is just lots of running around, dodging, meleeing, more dodging, more meleeing, and I mean, that's the name of the game. That's why the weapon doesn't matter, just because all you're doing for the ad clear is actually dodging and meleeing anyways. And that's why I think this build is just so good, because you do get your super back pretty quick, and the survivability, the ad clear on it is just so good that really, honestly, soloing any activity shouldn't be that hard with this sort of build, as long as there are enemies that you can actually kill and go invisible with. So yeah, so let me know what you think of the build. I'm going to put the links for this down below in the comment section. I'm going to put a dim link for both the Liar's Handshake and the Assassin's Cowl build. I do have both saved, so I will put one for each. And give it a try. Let me know what you think. Try to solo Flawless some dungeon and let me know if you had any success with it. I love this build. It is one of my favorites for a hunter. And it is definitely my go-to. And this is probably the build I'll be going into the final shape with day one. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think. Love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.